Hey, it's Ken Sheetz, and I'm out of breath, and it's easy to see why. This is a beautiful rock formation that is actually does not have a name on the maps, but it's right near Chimney Rock there. And where I'm living now is right there in the greenhouse. Last one before you come to this beautiful national forest land. But I thought I'd take you up here with me and we could do a little sunset chat. How's that sound? It's January 3rd, I believe. And I'm excited about going on a trip next week to Florida to visit Giulia of Puglia, Italy, and the Santa Maria del Sole. She was the activator that set me loose on Dream Shield. So I don't know if she has new activation codes for me, but when I heard she was going to be in America and all I had to do was go to Florida, I was like, darn, I got to go. And I had just done a soul drama workshop in May, so I really wasn't up for another one so soon. They're very intense. Connie Miller runs an amazing workshop series around the world called Soul Drama. It's a combination of psychodrama, Reiki, and her own magic. And it's an absolutely beautiful class, and you meet these amazing people from all over the world, and of course you're working through your shit, and it's it's an intense bonding experience. I've made some amazing friends from all over the world with Connie's workshops. And I'm looking forward to Patrick Flanagan getting back into town. I was out in San Diego filming him. He was investigating a new NAD therapy that reverses aging and doing a lot of intense work with that. And I filmed a good bit of it, and I'll be posting that on Buzz Bros. This video is on the Dream Shield blog, where I do my sort of personal blogging and meditating and filming of light workers and the spiritual stuff. And certainly Patrick is that, but he's something more with his science that he's done, his inventions. He is the reincarnation, pretty well vindicated, of Nikola Tesla. They actually put some plans in a vault, and he was able to describe them of Nikola's, and they had never been seen outside that vault by the public eye. So very amazing. He woke up in his crib looking at his toes and saying, "Oh my God, I've got to grow up this body again, and before I can start inventing." That's a heck of a way to start your life. And at only 3 years old, he told his mother he was Nikola Tesla, and she took him to the library when he was 5, and he was persistent about it, and sure enough, there was a Nikola Tesla, and we know who he is, the father of so many great inventions, and tried to bring us free, abundant energy, and was pretty well aced out of the whole thing by some greedy men. I blogged today about greed. I really don't believe in these conspiracy theories. I've never been much of a conspiracist. Yeah, sure, there's people out there that are trying to get ahead and cheat and manipulate the system, but they're really not doing it to kill us. I'm very tired of that whole paranoia thing, including the chemtrails. The chemtrails, which thank God we don't see any today, are being done, but they're being done to try to save the world, from global warming. And it's a secret project that's not such a great secret, but everybody doesn't like, the stuff coming down on us, but it's really meant to try to save this world, because we went too far over the edge with global warming. So the whole thing of fear and negativity, all that stuff, it just doesn't work for me. Maybe I'm a Pollyanna. Some people will call me that, but I prefer to believe it's just some greedy, dangerous men. Not that that's much better. But there's no master plan. And if we could all get above the greed, if we could all get to the point where I'm not looking to be a communist that we all share things. We still need to be incented and motivated, but it doesn't have to be so darn disproportionate. I mean, my brother told me the other day that a baseball player just got $250 million signing package. Did you let that sink in? $250 million. Now, I'm sorry. Playing baseball, $250,000, something you love, you probably do for free. These people are insane. And I can believe much more in insanity than I can believe in conspiracy. We are so empty on the inside. We're so devoid of spirit as a society, as a people that, we need these things to fill us up. And there's never enough money. There's never enough things. There's never enough. Well, if you can be an enoughaire, and that's what I am. I live in a very modest house now. I've got a very modest car. I'm totally happy. I have absolutely no desire to say, right over there, where that big tract of land is a new development that's going in, just on the other side of there it is over there, actually, the ridge there. And these houses are well over $5 million, $3 million. I can assure you they still have a bathtub, a toilet, and a kitchen. And a bunch of rooms that are never used. It's just silly, and that's what needs to, it's the quality rather than the quantity that we need to become more attuned with. And loving the life that we build. I've just been through the holiday season, which always depresses me. I had a terrible childhood. I did a lot of past regression work on my own with self-hypnosis, and I was able to go back and visit the first childhood Christmas that I can recall at the age of 2 years old, when my brother was just 6 months old. And oh my goodness. I was so jealous of my brother getting all the attention on this Christmas, my second, and I took a little toy rattle that he had gotten for Christmas, and I broke it. And I paid a terrible price from an overly disciplinarian father who was a drill sergeant. And at 2 years old, my goodness, you're not ready for someone screaming in your face, throwing you around like a basketball. And I was able to recall all that, and I've felt a lot better since. And I have to thank my housemate for triggering all this recollection, because once when I was out, and we just moved in together 2 months ago, and we have totally separate wings of the house and share a common space in the middle. So we have a lot of privacy, and she just wanted so much more privacy than I did. I wanted a housemate to have some company, and she went into like a total seclusion mode, and I became more and more irritable about it. Well, one day I come home, and the entire house is decorated with Christmas decorations. Well, after the story I just told you, you can imagine how I took it. I didn't take it well, and I felt like Scrooge, truly like Scrooge, and I asked her to take it all down. I went to visit friends in L.A. who were having a birthday party around the holidays, and I said, please, by the time I get back, have all the Christmas stuff down. And I think if she would have shared the space with me, but it was really weird because she wanted all this seclusion. We had been having some arguments. I didn't think severe. She's very sensitive and a wonderful human being. I come from, a father's raising of, being an absolute psychopath. So when I think I'm being gentle, sometimes I'm, some people might think of me as still being loud and abusive. So it was hard, and we had to get through it. A lot of people, both of our friends were saying, she should, leave because she's being abusive by just, not being a housemate and just disappearing into her room and never seeing you. And and her friends were saying he's loud and brash and mean, and you know what? We didn't listen to our friends, neither one of us. We're still seeing if we can work it out. Haven't decided if we are going to work it out or not yet, but I like that about her. She's a renegade like I am, and it's inspired a new story that I'm working on about a hermit that wants to have a housemate and a hugger that wants to have a housemate. The hugger and the hermit, and can a hugger and a hermit, find a middle ground to enjoy in a home together? I don't know. If you're going to work it out, though, in any place in the world, this is the place to do it. These rocks all have a lot of iron in them, and that's Thunder Mountain over there. That's Chimney Rock in the foreground. And we're right at the base of that, right down there. So, boom. So we both feel that we are working some things out for the divine feminine and the divine masculine. I've been through this before, by the way. I have, completely rationalized going through hell in another relationship exactly the same way. But even in that case, where it seemed to end really badly, there was a lot of growing that I did in the process, and I'm really looking forward to the same thing happening here, and it's already happening. I mean, when stories like the hermit and the hugger come into my head, I know I'm doing some good work, if only just to generate stories as a screenwriter. And we're getting down here to the sun going down over the mountains. Look at that beautiful. There's no color correction here. Wow, just look at that. I'm going to bring another hike I do here. I'm going to bring a diagram along with me, because each of these layers, stratas of rock, are different eras in global change and history, and this was all an ocean at one time. I mean, just imagine, excuse me, just imagine fish and giant Paleosauric beings and dinosaurs that once rolled through here, and oh my gosh, it's not hard to do when you're sitting here. The sun is setting over the town of Jerome over there, which is a lot of fun. It's got the world's largest kaleidoscope store. And I always love my little trips over to Jerome. And after my next paycheck here, I'm going to get myself a kaleidoscope from the world's largest kaleidoscope store. Now, they have kaleidoscopes that range up to $5,000. But again, I'm an enoughaire, so they have ones that are, much more modest, and, in the hundreds of dollars, and that's what I'm going to get, because I don't need the $5,000 kaleidoscope to make myself happy. I just love kaleidoscopes, and I want to get one from there because it's so precious. I bought one for Patrick Flanagan and his beautiful wife, Stephanie. And, wow, what a couple they are. They can fight and argue, and and it's intense. And I've even got a video about it you can see on Buzz Bros. It's called Divine Balancing Act. As soon as they're done, they move on and don't hold grudges. Of course, I'm sure anybody can get worn out in these situations, but when it wears out, then it's over, right? But they don't hold grudges. And when they're together, they're kissing, they're hugging. And she went through this, treatment with him, right there at his side, enjoying the reverse aging. And I watched their skin get younger. It was really incredible. And I took a still picture that just shows it so beautifully. That's not touched up or anything. And they're both in their mid and late 60s, and you just wouldn't believe it. And now after this reverse aging, I can't wait to see them again and see how much more impact it's had, because of the cellular regeneration that's going on. I've decided I want to be 37 again, and this Harvard backs up this NAD work. The day that Patrick Flanagan began investigating NAD treatments, which have been around for a couple years, but he said, he's going to try it. The day he did that, Harvard University came out with a really powerful study, and the title of the article was Reverse Aging, Not as Far-Fetched as It Seems. And what Harvard did was they took rats who were the equivalent of 60 years old in rat years. I have no idea what that is. And they were able to give them NAD intravenously, just like Patrick did and Stephanie did, and they reverse aged to 20 years old. So maybe the next time I see Patrick and Stephanie, they'll be 20 years old. Wouldn't that be freaking awesome? It's hard to believe. I came up with a saying for Patrick's company. It's not sci-fi, it's phi-sci, phi sciences. And that's spelled with a P-H-I, and phisciences.com. You can see all of Patrick's products there. They're pretty darn cool. And they've given me the energy at 61 here to be climbing mountains. I mean, look how high up I am. So all I can say is I'm excited about 2014 and the things that Patrick Flanagan and Stephanie, his beautiful wife, are bringing into the world, and I'm helping you see and take advantage of yourselves with my videos on Buzz Bros. For now, let's just do a little meditation here as the sun goes over the edge. I want to ask the powers out there, the spirit, please help humanity overcome greed. We need to live within our means and take care of this planet and be able to enjoy it. When I was a millionaire back in the late 1980s, early 90s, I was miserable. I neglected my wife. I neglected my kids. My client Oprah Winfrey and my skyscraper were the most important things, and my kids were somewhere way, way down the list. And I'll never be that way again, and I hope my kids one day will be able to love me. They became estranged as children because I was so neglectful, and it came home to roost here, and I thought I was being a great dad, giving them everything a kid could ever want, but the one thing I wasn't giving them was the thing they needed the most, and that was love. And so if they're out there watching this video, my two kids in their 30s now who stopped talking to me 4 years ago almost, I hope you can forgive your dad and realize that, I came from a bad family upraising and didn't have the tools, marrying so young and having you guys in my 20s. You're older now and you're just having your first kids, and I'd love to see my grandkids. I have twin grandchildren, and I haven't seen them yet. And this has all been very hard, and I'm just now being able to accept that, if I blew it, I blew it. There's nothing I can do about it. But I hope one day my grandkids will seek me out and realize that the Ken Sheetz of today is not the Ken Sheetz that raised their parents, and I got some great things to teach them, and I've got some great wisdom that I'm blessed with knowing, and I thank the spirits for helping me and bringing me to Sedona. I think it's going to be a great year. I'm thrilled to be done with my holiday Christmas depression, and every year I don't enjoy the holidays, I survive the holidays. Last year I was down in Antarctica all through the holidays, and that's what I want to do again next year. I just don't want to be around for all the incessant advertising and, the shopping and the craziness of so many parties. And, I'm not a super party guy. 1 or 2 parties a year, that's plenty for me. It's interesting. My hermit housemate loves parties. It sounds completely paradoxical, I know. And I'm a person that dislikes parties, but I like one-on-one time with people, and she is a person that likes parties but doesn't like one-on-one time with people. At least not with me. I don't know. Yeah. There goes the sun. So, agreed. Let's overcome it. Peace out.